Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay. I'm hoping this filming is gonna go fine, but currently Wednesday is sat in her bed to the side of me, sitting menacingly with a squeaky toy. I'm hoping she's gonna keep it quiet. This week has been kind of a busy week for me, so I thought I would just do another sort of chatty, sort of like thinking out loud video. Hopefully you're not bored of them. I know a lot of you just like to have them on in the background for noise, so hopefully it's cool. I had an optician's appointment yesterday. I was in the optician for like an hour and a half. I had a lot to catch up on. I haven't been for a few years and I am short-sighted, if you don't know. I'm really short-sighted. So I had fallen like aggressively behind in my prescriptions. Had to have a lot of tests, like the one where they puff the air in your eye and stuff. Another one where you click a button and they measure your peripheral vision. There was a lot going on. So this week has been kind of like a catching up on errands and just working on some small stuff kind of week. Next week, it's my birthday, so there will be an Attic Archives episode. And then I have some stuff going on in March and April, so hopefully we can get a good few Attic Archives episodes in that space. But recently there's not so much going on. I feel like I'm just trying to take my time and slow down a bit. I'm obviously adjusting to some big changes. The sofa is a big change. I have a new planner cover, so that's kind of a change. I also changed pen, and if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you'll know how big of a deal that is personally. I've been using the Friction, who makes them? It's not Pilot, it's who? Oh, it is Pilot Friction. I've been using the Pilot Friction pen for, I don't know, at this point, like 10 years maybe? A long time, maybe 8 years, I don't know. Since I was in my A6 Leuchtturm notebooks anyway. This is all I've used since uni, pretty much, and I really like them. I'm a big fan. I know that they're unpredictable, the ink can fade, it can be a whole thing, I'm aware. I've never personally had any issues. They've been very, very good to me. Not once have I had ink disappear or reappear or act funny. I change my cartridge quite frequently, but I buy them in multi-packs. I had one on the desk a minute ago, I can't find it now. Anyway, I buy them in multi-packs and it's done me really good for a long time, basically. However, I had been thinking for a while about possibly changing pen just because I'm worried about the longevity of my books. I'm not sure how long I want my books to last, but I think I would like to have the option of being able to choose. And I guess my concern is that if I stick it out with the Friction pens, I might not have the option to choose. I might have the decision made for me if I encounter some strange weather or a bubble of heat of some kind, I don't know. God forbid one day I leave my book too close to a radiator and I lose everything. I would be devastated, and I think that's enough of a reason to maybe change. So how we got here is that at the weekend I sat down, I think it was Sunday, I sat down to do some writing and I couldn't find my pen, my trusty clicky Pilot pen. I've been using the clicky one for 6 months or something. I'm kind of a big fan. There's no reason that I changed from the capped pen to the clicky pen. It just happened. I think one day I went to buy refills and all they had was the refills with the clicky pen, and that's kind of how it started. And then I kind of came to prefer it, but I don't know why. I think I just like it. Anyway, I couldn't find my pen on Sunday and I was a bit stressed about it. My dad was going out to buy groceries anyway, so I asked him to pick me up a new pen, which he did, and that's how I have it. I never found my old one. I would love to know what happened to it. It must have been one of those things where you drop it on the floor and the carpet just eats it. It like falls into a different realm, because obviously I carry it with my planner. I don't carry it away from my planner, and I'm not sure how it disappeared. Like, I'm really confused. My room is not very big. I don't have a lot of storage. I was like searching for it and I couldn't find it. It was like, if you also live in a small space and you have one of those spaces where you're like, everything has a home, and you look, there's like nowhere else for it to be. Like, it's not like I have floorboards for it to fall down. It's like I don't understand where it went. Doesn't matter. I have a new one now. But on Sunday, I had some stuff to do. I really wanted to catch up on these writing pages that I talked about last week. I was like, I was so behind. I'm still not even that many pages across from it, but I wanted to catch up really badly. I had thoughts. I did see my grandparents on Saturday, and so I had thoughts when I got home. I had things to think about, things to write about, I don't know. So what I did was I was searching around my desk for my pen. I was looking at my pen pot, and I found this Parker ballpoint gel pen, I think it is, which I bought when I was doing my pen experiments just before Christmas. my pen experiments weren't something I really documented at all. I was having a conversation with people on Tumblr about it, and then I bought some to test, including some fan favorites like the Zebra Sarasa pen, a couple of Uniball pens that are really popular and stuff. But at the time I was using Hobonichi, and the ink was all so smudgy in Hobonichi. I don't know what it is about the paper, the Tomoe River paper and now the Sanzen paper, but gel pens are so smudgy in Hobonichi. I don't know if maybe it's improved this year with the new paper, but last year it was bad. It put me off looking for a new pen. I found the smudginess so stressful. I'm someone who writes a lot very fast and in the moment, and I brush my hand over things almost instinctively. I think because I grew up drawing and erasing, the instinct is to brush my hand over the page, and I've been trying to train myself out of doing it, but sometimes I still do it instinctively. And if you're using a smudgy pen, brushing your hand across a page will ruin the whole page, which is like, it's not so bad now that I'm in filofax, because if I do really mess up a page, I can just reprint it in a way. I can switch it out if it's that bad, which is a nice relief, and I think that's part of why I've changed now. It's like that comfort of knowing that if something does go terribly wrong, I can fix it, I can redo it. Obviously in a bound book that's a lot harder, you can cover it over, but it's a bit trickier. It feels messier somehow. So anyway, I was desperate for a pen, and I was looking through my pen pool, and I found my Parker ballpoint pen, and I just kind of thought to myself, well, I'm not using Hobonichi at the moment, I wonder how it performs on the Kokuyo paper. And I had one of those like little post-it notes I made myself the other day out of Kokuyo paper, so I wrote on it, and then I left it for a few seconds, and then I brushed my hand over it to see if it was drying, and it was already dry. When I tell you that when I was doing my pen test experiments on the Hobonichi paper, it was taking 6+ minutes to dry with blotting, and it was like, it still wasn't dry. I was so confused about it, because everyone is always talking about their favorite pens, and they were all so smudgy. They were taking like 6+ minutes, all of them, to dry. I was timing it. I had like timed increments. I was doing that kind of test, and they were all still smudging, like they weren't drying. So when I tested this pen, this little cute pen, on a post-it, Kokuyo post-it, and then it was just dry, I was like, oh, that kind of changes things. I can't pretend that it doesn't. So I decided I would just maybe give it a go. I started by writing this page, so it was just a blank page at the time, and I left it to dry for a few minutes, and it was fine. And then I filled in the margin afterwards, and then that was fine too. So then I was like, okay, do I want to commit to this? And then I went back and I filled in my gaps. So I did this one, this one, this one. And then to try and help thread the new ink through the books, I went in and filled some gaps. I had a gap here that I filled in, just this margin, to help ease the new ink in. And then this morning I went back and I filled in this gap too. And I think it's not too noticeable, it's not too different. It is actually incredibly dark in here right now, so I don't know if you can even see that it's raining. It started to rain and the sun has disappeared. But the ink is a lot darker. Let me show you. Compared to this one. Like, there is a pretty substantial difference. And I like the friction pen because it's quite pale almost. People say that mine is a lot darker than when they use it, but I think the quality of the ink is very climate dependent. I've always joked that I think the UK must be the perfect climate for this specific pen, because I've never had an issue obviously, and the ink performs well. It looks relatively dark when the cartridge is fresh. It does start to get lighter when the cartridge is running out, but it's been fine. But I like this kind of faded look it has after it dries. I think it's kind of nice. It's very gentle on the eyes. And for that reason, the new pen will take some adjustment, I think. Obviously it is quite a lot darker, and I think it looks fine. I'm just not used to it. But I'm trying to tell myself that it's fine to feel weird about it, but I should probably stick it out for the longevity of my books, as I say. And because I'm not sure if I want things to last, but I do want the option, I think I'm gonna stick it out. I've had no smudging incidents yet, it's been okay. The nice thing about filofax too is that I usually write by taking my pages out. I know a lot of people, I think Lindsay writes with hers in, but I take mine out to write. And it means that when I fill a page, I can put it to the side for a minute to dry, and then, like, I don't know, feed my Tamagotchi while I'm waiting or something. And it will be dry, and then I can write again, and it's fine. So that's an update. It's very interesting. It feels like a big deal for me personally, but this is why I've been taking things kind of slower this week. I know that it sounds silly to be affected by a pen, but when you've been writing as much as I have with the same pen for so many years, it does feel like a big deal. Obviously, I'm autistic too, so change anyway, no matter how small, is still a change. It's something that I have to process. And whenever I feel like I'm stressed for no reason, I think like, how would my shrink analyze this? Because she used to do this thing where she would say, you say you're stressed for no reason, but you have told me that you have all these things going on. She was like, so that's not no reason. And then she would say stuff like, a lot of autistic people need multiple days to process things. So she would pinpoint a change in my life and then say that I should expect to feel quite affected by it, even subconsciously, for like at least 2 days, that kind of thing. So I'm thinking about how big of a change the sofa is. Also how bad my sleep has been. Slightly improved now, but still obviously disordered. The pen I've been using, I'm using a new cover, and even though that's exciting and I really like it, it's still a change. So then I'm adding up all the math for these days of like how long it will take me to process them, and it's like, okay, I can see why I've been craving a quiet week, if that makes sense. And I guess it just comes back again to the whole root of everything I do and the theme of the channel, which is like, this is not a productivity place. This is just a looking after yourself and doing the best you can place. So it's that kind of vibe. Moving on from the pen, I did get my personal size moterm cover and it fits a lot better. I was maybe delusional thinking that the personal wide was what I needed. My pages are Franklin Coffee Compact, which means they're only, I think, half an inch or something wider. They're not taller, it's just a bit wider. Are they taller? Maybe a bit, like a smidge. They're only like ever so slightly bigger than personal, basically. It's like a centimetre or something that I really, really value though. I feel like it gives me enough space to work. So it is an important, like, slight difference to me, but it is only a slight difference. Personal wide is actually a size all in itself, which I guess I must have forgotten. And it's a lot wider. It's closer to A6, I think. So just something to bear in mind, I guess. I actually forgot to list my personal wide cover, so I will do that this week. If you're interested, I am selling it, but I got my personal one. It came super fast. And I really like it. First impressions, I guess. I thought about doing an unboxing, but then I thought it might be more valuable to sit with it for a week and tell you how I feel by the end. I think it arrived on Monday, which is really cool. So it took, is that less than a week to get here? How did they do that? I think it must have taken less than a week. Anyway, very cool if it did. I like it a lot. It is super obviously similar to the A6 cover I had for my A6 Avec books, and I wanted it to be. I really liked that when I had it, so when I moved back into rings, I was really excited to like eventually try this. And 3 months is normally when I start getting squeamish in a system and start looking to change things up, so I figured a cover might be a good way to do that preemptively. I like this cover a lot. I kind of want this to be my like ride or die cover, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna say that 100% and commit to it, because I think part of the joy of having a filofax or a ring planner is changing your cover up. Same with like Traveler's Notebook, for example, and also the Hobonichi, right? That's why they make the covers, it's just fun. But I do like this as like my probably like mostly full-term cover. It has the 2-button closure so that when it gets thicker you can put more room in the closure, but obviously I use the inside one. The profile is quite a lot bigger. Still have my other one. I think this is the Finsbury from Filofax. Obviously if I put them on top of each other you can see there's quite a bit of extra profile, I guess. It's wider. The height is exactly the same, but there is like a good, I don't know what that would be, like 5 centimeters wider. But it's kind of nice. Interestingly, the moterm cover, if you don't have this back piece in, the whole thing is really flimsy. It's like it's very bendy. When I first took it out of the box, it was like flimsing all over the place, and I was like, oh, it's a bit weird. So I put this back piece in, which I think a lot of people use at the front of their planner, I think. I don't know. I kind of would have thought that this pocket should be on the front, but if you turn it upside down, the pocket's upside down. So I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's meant to be used here though, and then you have all the pockets together. But anyway, I put it at the back to be a page lifter and to give my book some structure. And then I still have my pencil board that I use as a ruler. And I like it a lot. I see people on Instagram and stuff in my explore page, where I spend a lot of time at the moment, putting really cute things in the pockets to kind of decorate it up a bit. I've always kept my filofaxes relatively low-key, pretty empty, kind of minimal, I guess, in the cover. The best thing I've ever had in my cover was my iPod. I now just carry that in my pocket. I am still using it. Someone asked me recently. I am still using it a lot. I just haven't been talking about it, I guess. I do still love my iPod. But I might put some bits in here. I don't know. I have, what is this? This is all junk on my desk from last week still. I could put, would this fit? Yeah, so I could have John and Sherlock in here. It would be kind of cute. Or I have this business card from the Haunts Curiosity Shop, but that won't fit. A Pokemon card. It's a no. And a cinema ticket for The Exorcist. Again, not really. I don't know. I will do some more investigation and I will see how people do it, and then maybe I could make a video trying to dress this up. I guess it's business card size, isn't it? So the ghosts aren't gonna fit either. There's a lot of pockets, I will say that in my review, sorry, distracted. There's obviously 4 business card pockets on this side. There's a bigger pocket down here, which is cool, which I guess I could put a ghost card in. There's a pocket in here. There's a big folder here, which I guess I'll put stickers in, which would be nice. And then there's a zip as well. Oh, and I took this off my traveler's notebook where it was left, and I can put it on the zip while we're here. If I can get a grip on it. Cute, okay. There's something, a little decoration. Obviously it's a 6-ring binder, same as the filofax, exactly the same measurements. I also got gold rings. I'll show you. I also got the gold rings. They are like a very bright yellow gold. And I had this in my A5 filofax. I had a different set of gold rings and I liked it a lot. So I ordered these as an extra. I think they're like £2 from Moterm. And I put them on, but I wasn't sure. I found it a bit intense. And I don't know if it's just because I'm now very used to the silver rings. They're very low-key, but I put these in and I was like, this is very bright. It's a bit much. Even though I am a gold tone girly, all my jewelry is gold, my glasses are gold. I was a bit overwhelmed, so I'm not sure. I will say they're super easy to put in and out of the binder though. You use the screwdriver to take off these top ones and then you take this out and there's a screw left inside, so you don't have to do anything from the inside of the cover. You just put it on top and then put the screw back on. It's amazing. There's videos on YouTube how to do it if you're curious, but it's so easy. I couldn't believe how easy it was. I do think that is a very cool feature they have. The fact that it's so easily done, I think is phenomenal. I think I really understand why Moterm has such like a cult following, why it's so popular, because like I get it. I think it's cool. It was really easy. So I took them back off and I put the silver ones back on. The gold ones they have for the personal size are also smaller than the ones that come in here. I think these are 30mm, which is cool. It's quite a lot bigger. And then these are like 25. So I figured I would keep the silver for now and see how I feel. I quite like that they're a bit bigger. But at least I have these for the future if I want them, and they weren't expensive, and I like that I have them on retainer, so that's something. Moving on through the back, I guess there's more pockets here. It's the same setup as the front. It has another flap, and then there's also these 2 slidey pockets in here. And then there's also like, do you call this a secretarial pocket, the really big back pocket? There's one of those as well, which again, I don't know how I would use it. I know like how other people use it, but it's not something I've ever really needed, but it's cool that it's there, I guess. I don't mind that it's there. It doesn't bother me. And it's nice to have somewhere if you ever need it, I guess. I guess better to have the options than to not, maybe. Apart from that, I am kind of thinking about, oh, I have this to put in. I was looking at the side of my desk. I hole punched this receipt yesterday. I bought some CDs. And it's fun, isn't it? Because I love that in filofax things are so changeable. I think it's a really good time. And I put this receipt. Yeah. I just think it's silly and fun. I think it's nice to have those options. I bought CDs yesterday. I normally buy all my CDs secondhand, but I've been having a hard time finding sort of like more goth CDs secondhand. My local CD shop that is secondhand, they have a lot of like classic rock and punk stuff sometimes. Not like good punk though, mostly just like Sex Pistols, like 1,000 of them. But it's hard to find goth stuff. They don't really have it. My dad always finds a lot of soundtracks and stuff there, and I have found a lot of like Ramones there and stuff over the years, or over the last year, but nothing really goth. So for the sake of just showing you, in case you're curious, I picked up a Joy Division album. It's a remastered studio album with a bonus disc of a previously unreleased live show from the University of London Union. I just thought it sounded fun. I love Joy Division, in case you don't know. Obviously you know, because the Ian Curtis collage. But I really love Joy Division. I don't have a copy of this album, and I liked that it has that unreleased live show. I love when you listen to goth music or other TV static adjacent music, and the live shows are like pure static. I love it so much. I have a live album of Jesus and the Mary Chain live at Barrowland, and it's literally all static, and it's like my favorite thing to listen to. So when I saw that there was an unreleased live show, I picked this up. I was like, sold. I would love to hear it, in case it's really staticky and I can add it to my list of TV static. I'm excited to really like it. I also got the Elvis soundtrack. This was not the best movie by any means, but I do think it was fun. Saw it in the cinema. I will say though that I think the soundtrack was incredible. A lot of it is original music. It's covers of Elvis songs. Obviously there's the Måneskin one. Oh my god, why can't I talk all of a sudden? Obviously there's the Måneskin one, and I think it's the only Måneskin song I don't have on CD. So I was kind of like, well, kind of sold. I also really like the Doja Cat one, and what was the other one that I really liked? Oh, I can't remember which one it is. There's a few songs in the film that were just so good, so I liked it enough basically to get the CD. I like Elvis anyway, so all the covers are good for me. I like it. So I don't know, kind of impulsive, that one. Wasn't really a planned buy, but I like it a lot. This one is a Wolf Alice album. I like it a lot. I love Yuck Fu, that song. It's really shouty. If you don't know Wolf Alice and you like shouty girl music, you have to get on it. I saw them live once actually. They were supporting for a different band back in the day, I guess before they got really, really big, and I've always really liked them. I don't have this one. I mostly have, I think, their first album, so I've been trying to get this one and it's been sold out for a while, so I picked it up. It came with this nice, like, this is like a thicker plastic cover, which is quite nice, as opposed to the crinkly one. So again, just a good choice for me. And then I got a Cure album. I won't read the name out loud because I don't want to get demonetized. I don't know how strict YouTube is, but it's like one of the more goth Cure albums. Again, it's just a good choice for me, I guess. This is on my list of things I wanted to get. Basically, I went with the intention to maybe get another Bauhaus album, a Cure album, and a Joy Division album. I have a lot of Susie and the Banshees already. Have a lot of Bauhaus already, but there's like a couple I don't have. And obviously anything live I'll pick up if I don't already have it, because I love the grit and the noise and the static, as I say, of the live music. So there we go, just something fun. Put the receipt in because it was some good choices, I think, and I just hole punched everything that was attached to the receipt. This is the review card. They always ask you to fill it out, and I normally do. It's just nice. It gives them a leg up, doesn't it, at work. So my brother used to work for HMV. That's how I know. So I just stuck the whole thing in because I think that's part of the joy of having a filofax, right, is being able to punch anything you want. And I don't always do a lot of that, but this time I was like, go on, that'll be fun. So we'll do some more writing today. I have a book review to catch up on because I just finished reading Crescent City book 3. I've seen some mixed reviews on Reddit, a lot of mixed reviews on Reddit. I don't know how I felt. I enjoyed it still. I read it really fast. I think I read it in like 2.5 days. There was a lot going on though. Like, she was speed running you through it. The way it kept changing POV between paragraphs was a bit much at first. It did adapt and it was fine. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, so I won't actually review it here, but I don't know how I felt. I think it was fine, but I think there was some stuff that I would have liked to have seen that we didn't, mostly about the main characters and kind of their development. That's really my only critique. I had no qualms with the story. A lot of people didn't like the storyline, but I think that was fine. My beef was with the characters, the depiction of the characters. But, you know, I'll keep reading them because they're really fun, and I can't deny the fact that when I read them, I'm having the best and silliest time. So we'll keep going. Rune is still one of my favorite characters, that's what I'll say. Also, Tharian, he's literally just like, every time he makes a decision, I'm like, what possessed you? What possessed you to make this decision? So that's my review. I need to print out a book review page to do it. Normally when I'm reading fiction, I will just do the double-paged review. And then when I read non-fiction, I give it a bigger space. I put a notes on the back so I can put quotes down. I'm not really highlighting quotes in fiction. I guess because a lot of the fiction I read is so unserious, so I just don't normally feel the need. But for non-fiction, it's nice to have the extra room, so I need to print one of those out. I will do that probably today. And then the last thing I think I wanted to talk about is a bit of a wild card. I think, because I want this to be my ride or die cover, I feel like it might be kind of fun to customize it a little bit. I say tentatively and kind of nervously. If I mess it up, I'll have to try and fix it somehow, so that'll be on me. But I wonder if it might be fun to put a patch on here, like a screen printed patch. Obviously, if it was an embroidered patch, you could put like double-sided tape on it and you could do like a non-permanent kind of effect. Maybe that would be a better option, is to try and get an embroidered patch. I could get like a Joy Division patch, or maybe like Deftones or something. One of my favorite bands, Deftones, Joy Division. I listen to a lot of Korn at the moment as well. Obviously The Cure, something like that. I could get a cool patch on Etsy and I could just double-sided tape it on, and then you could use something gentle to remove the glue. But part of me is like, I have this stack of patches that I got for my jacket, which I still have, by the way, the jacket that I customized, but it's not really been the right temperature to wear it. It's quite a thin denim jacket and it's either too hot or too cold to wear it, so I don't know if I made a mistake there with my choice of jacket. But I have a lot of patches that I still want to keep to customize my clothes. I was actually looking yesterday for some new sweatshirts because my house sweatshirts are kind of all getting very worn out. They're all like 10 or something years old. And they're getting a bit gross and they're washing a little worse every time. This one could be cool. It's like my tattoo. I have a couple of each, so they're not super precious if I want to end up using them. Bela Lugosi. I've got an Edgar Allan Poe. I could put him on the front, definitely. This one is like a tarot patch. Pretty cool. This one will be good for the back of a jacket or something, or like a big front piece on a sweatshirt. This one is also cool. How many Bela Lugosi did I get? Nosferatu, the Mothman. Could put a Mothman on there, that would be funny. And then I have these for arms. I want to put these on the arms of something, so I don't want to use those. Got some big scissors, but again, not really the right size. Okay, so maybe a candle could be cool. Kind of has that fold there that I could cut already. Like, and then I would sew it, and I think it would look really cool, but as I say, it would be very permanent, and if I make a mess of it, that would be kind of... It's kind of cool. I don't know, I guess I just wonder that because of the secretarial pocket, I wonder if you could sew through. Like, I mean, I've sewn through heavy denim and stuff before and like leather, so I think I'm not too worried about it. I just think that's the advantage of a secretarial pocket, is that you could go through the back of it and sew on without having to worry about damaging the inside of the planner or sewing your pocket shut. It would be kind of messy in there, but as I say, I don't really know what to use it for. So I guess the tiny little DIY punk in me is like a little bit like, it seems like an opportunity. But again, I think maybe a music patch that's less permanent might be better, so that I can change that up too if I want to. I could always take it back off and put a new one on as time goes on. But if anyone is braver than me, there you go. I think you could sew on here. It's not actually that thick, it's a layer of leather, and then it's spongy inside. So I think you could definitely punch through if you were using a leather needle like you would for a leather jacket. I mean, that's sick. Like, look at that. I think that's very cool. Maybe I could do it on the back. Maybe we could have Bela Lugosi on the back. Or Edgar Allan Poe or the Mothman. I think these ones with the like the screen tone, I don't know how you call that, the effect. These ones are more like faded. This one is quite like a blocky print. I put one of these on my denim jacket though and I love it, but maybe like the Mothman or Bela Lugosi would be cool. I might give it a go. Let me know what you think, if it would be a disaster or if it's worth a try. And don't just say you want me to do it because you want to see the disaster. I can probably make it work, I think, but I think I might get a band patch for the front. Okay, it's still completely dark in here, so I'll leave it there. I don't think it's worth trying to carry on while it's so dark outside, but that's kind of all I wanted to say this week. As I say, just trying to take it slow. I had a really productive couple of weeks last week and the week before with the sofa and the initial like improvement in sleep. I really like maximized that productivity for the first time in my life, in my sleepy life. I don't want to do that every week. I don't want to burn myself out. I just want to kind of do things as I feel them. And this week I was feeling hella sleepy, so it's just a little video this week. But these are the things I'm thinking about. I hope it's interesting for you. I hope I made good background noise. Always happy to keep someone company. Next week, my birthday, I will be 27, which is like slightly nauseating, but as my granddad said when I saw him on Saturday, you're just a child. 27 feels old, only because I've been younger. Obviously in the grand scheme of life, it's very young. And in my granddad's eyes, I am still just a kid, so that's nice. I feel like just a kid still, but 27. I ordered a cake like I always do, so that will be fun, and then I'm gonna go to Bath at the weekend because there's nothing to do in Reading. That's why I always go see Luke in Bath. And my brother actually just got a kitten, so I don't know if that will be in next week's video or the week after, just because of the timing of uploads. My birthday is on Friday, which is upload day, so it's not the best, but we'll see how it goes. And then, as I say, March, April, I have some stuff going on potentially, so it should be a bit more to look at around that time. But until then, I'm just chipping away at my little book and sharing my thoughts with you guys, I guess. I hope you all have a lovely week. Let me know what band you think I should put on the front of my filofax or how I should customize it. Let me know how you guys customize the insides of your notebook covers. I feel like I've never done a lot of that and I want it to look cool like some people do on Instagram. So let me know your favorite way to customize your books. Would be curious to know. All right, I will see you next week.